Hey there, sorry about that. I had to step away for just a second. Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning from Japan. Welcome to my Good Life Meditation. My name is Kurt, and this is an activity that I do each and every morning, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. This is the baseline video in my YouTube content. If there was a bass player, bass note, this is it. I do this repeatedly every day. I've been doing it for years. Welcome to the new subscribers. Just be heads up, this is a Japan video happening. This is in Japan. You can see I'm in a mini stop convenience store right now. But that's about all that you're going to get out of Japan from this video, as this is really just a journal entry that I make every day to help me to live a better life. With that said, I do talk about sensitive subjects in these videos, so be aware, heads up on that. Thank you for your support. Those of you who watch my videos, support me as members on YouTube and as Patreon supporters. You bought my coffee this morning, thanks. All right, so for today, I'm going to go over 3 things. I'll talk about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and the opportunities that I met. I'll recite the 8 objectives of my creed, and I'll prepare for the coming day. Now, I don't have my notebook with me. I dropped my pen in the car. It's still sitting there now, so I couldn't take notes. I didn't even have my notes to look at. So I'm just doing this out of the top of my head. As for yesterday, it was a 3rd day in a row of PEF, what I call the peaceful, easy feeling. Just a really good day. It's funny how as the number of days increase that I have that, the less I want to engage in social media and do this kind of stuff. It's almost like it doesn't mean that it's a. I guess what it means is that even though I enjoy doing this compared to the experience of just living life now feels like kind of like work. Again, it used to be that doing social media was a distraction from the pain of work, because work really has always been a pain in the butt. You know, especially now I realize that, I won't go, don't worry, I'm not going to go down that road again. But if those of you that have watched these videos know that my feelings about work. Now, by the way, time out. For the new subscribers, I'm a 60-year-old American man, retired, almost 61, I'll be 61 next month. I'm married to a 60-year-old Japanese woman, she's retired too. We've been retired a little over 4 months. We have a 24-year-old daughter, Emily, who lives in Tokyo, pursuing her career there. So, being newly retired, I have the experience of the freedom that I have now relative to what it was like before. And I often in these videos draw a stark contrast between these. And I'm noticing something interesting happening now. Whereas before, the baseline of my life was the career that I had, the hard work that I did, 5-6 days a week. For a lot of years, I worked 2 jobs. In America, I was an IT project manager on the weekdays, and then on the weekends, namely Saturday, I taught driving. I was a driving instructor for teenagers. So for that, doing YouTube was kind of like a release. Now, life isn't like that anymore. The YouTube is kind of a chore, believe it or not. Even this video, but this is an important chore. This is a chore like writing in my journal, which is an important thing to do, because this is how I align myself with my values and improve on a day-to-day basis. So with that said, yesterday was another PEF, I call it Peaceful Easy Feeling Day. Really extraordinarily interesting and good day. I had good interactions with my father-in-law as well. I made a concerted effort when we went over to visit him to engage him, and talk with him about things. And we had some nice conversations. It was nice to be able to elicit some laughter out of him, right? Because he's an older man. He's in his 90s and doesn't have a lot of interaction with the world anymore. So I try to give that to him. excuse me, allergies have got me, as I can. So, if I hold this up, I won't sniffle so much. And I'm gonna go quick. So not a lot to report on yesterday. It was just a really nice day. Yumiko and I had a hell of a lot of fun. We went to Yui to get in search of bento at a place that we'd seen on TV, and it was a heck of an adventure. I'll probably upload a video of that today. Anyway, the creed consists of 8 objectives as follows: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of my time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions relative to my creed, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully, to cultivate, to keep my balance. As for today, well, I'm gonna go to Yui, back to Yui. Ostensibly to search for a house that's listed on AkiyaMart that I saw, that I'm going to make a video of and feature to share with folks. I also want to work in the garden. And today, my first day that I actually utilized some of the Patreon support funds for to have a bowl of soba at the harbor there. Oh, do want to comment that, boy, am I getting strong. I kicked butt in the garden yesterday. I mean, I worked so hard in the garden yesterday, and it would have wiped me out a month ago, and I feel good now. So I think that's good. Oh, let's read comments. Worth doing badly. Hi, good morning to you. And Andaya Shah Henderson, a member of on YouTube. Thank you, Andaya Shah. Thank you for being a member on the channel. I really appreciate it. I know I can't exactly understand what it's like to work 40 years. Haha. I'm only 27, but I felt the same way when I finished my 5 service in the Army. Andaya Shah goes on, after all of the rigid structures, I sat down for a few weeks and thought to myself that the rest of my life would just be me entertaining myself until the end. Yes, you're quite right, and I have to very carefully choose my response to you, Andaya Shah. You said you're 27. So here's the paradox as I see it. I'll couch it in my own experience and my own advice to myself. I'm not offering advice. I want to be very careful, and I know you're not soliciting my advice. This is more of like a conversation, just feedback, right? If I was 27 and facing down what I know now, I'd do it again, for 2 reasons. Well, I would assume that if I was 27 again, that would make it what? 1991, which would mean that the world hadn't changed a lot, and the only way to get ahead in 1991 at age 27 was to work hard for 40 years at the hamster wheel. So you see you get what I'm saying, right? There's no other way, right? When I was your age in 1991, what I did was the only way. If I wanted to be a family man and a husband and a father and do all those things, pay my taxes, et cetera, I had to do it. I had no choice. Now you're on the cusp of a new world, particularly with artificial intelligence. I don't know what's coming, so I don't. Hopefully the old system will change into something that you don't have to live the way I did. I hope so, because I wouldn't wish it on anybody. That said, Andaya Shah, if you don't mind, this is me giving a little bit of a recommendation, if you don't mind, is do whatever you can to make sure you're preparing to get old. There's a lot of people that don't prepare, and then they wind up my age and they can't retire. Like they can't retire until they're like 70, or they can't retire ever. And that's a pretty awful place to be, I think, because once you get to be around 60, the body starts to decline, and by about 60, by the mid 60s, diseases usually begin to arrive. And if you still have to plug away at the hamster wheel when you're sick and old, that's not going to be nice. So I don't know what the future has in store for people your age, my daughter is just a little bit younger than you, so I worry about her as well. do whatever you can to make sure you're preparing to get old, so that you don't have to continue on the friggin' hamster wheel when you're old. Hey, hi, geese, from India. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's a really nice message, Michelle. I was not prepared. I have now taken into consideration things to get ready. I feel at times like I am scrambling. Oh, Michelle, I'm glad to hear that you're preparing to get ready. The best thing, if you guys don't mind me offering my own 2 cents on that, is whatever vehicles of preparation that you can engage in that you can't mess with, namely retirement accounts with your employer. Pensions, if there's any way at all that you can wind up in a job that offers a pension after 10, 20, 15 years or whatever, do that. So, because, for example, all of the money that I was ever left in my hands, I blew all my life. The only way I was able to retire was by virtue of the fact that every job I ever had, when I was going through the HR induction into the company, they said, okay, now here's the paperwork for our company's pension or our company's retirement plan. And I always had the same response. I said, take that sucker, max that out to 100%, make it and then I tuned the portfolio to the most aggressive. I want growth. I want all, because what I said to myself was, if they're taking all that money out before I get my paycheck, then I'll just learn to live on whatever they're paying me, and all that money will be set aside, and I can't touch it till I'm 59 and a half, because if you're in the United States, you can't touch that without significant penalty. And then keep all the friggin' paperwork. And I kept a special file in all the paperwork of every job I ever had. I stuffed the files away, and that did the trick. And then 40 years of friggin' compound interest after that, I was able to retire at 60. But all the money that I had, any money that crossed the line and got deposited in my bank account, I blew all that money, all gone. Michelle says, I sadly at 61 don't have that. My husband passed and had told me he had life insurance and he did not. I have made sure that I have more than needed. I worry about my children and grandkids. I hear you. But Michelle, and I'm glad that, Michelle, that you were able to to find a way to do it. With regard to children and grandkids, I think, maybe the best thing, you're not asking my opinion, but if I can offer it, the best thing we can do is offer them our example and then caution them, as I do with my daughter almost every time she comes to visit. I take her aside and say, are you planning to get old? What are you doing to plan to get old, Emily? What precautions are you taking? So I'm just planting that seed instead of having her rely on, and she will when I die. When I die, she'll get our house and whatever we have. But you know what I mean? Just the benefit of caring. Nobody ever did that with me. I wish that someone, like a parent figure throughout my life had been pestering me to make sure that I'm preparing for getting old. And I'm disabled, I see. That's a challenge. But I'm glad to see, Michelle, that you were able to find a way. Cody, hi Cody. Good morning, Kurt. I am 29 and I feel like I am currently preparing very well. Strict savings and investments, decent salary with RRSP matching, but I am considering ditching all that for a simpler life in Japan. I'm Cody. You say I'm in Canada right now. Cody, can I just weigh in just a little bit on that? I totally understand your interest in coming to Japan, and I encourage you to do that. Just two things, if I can, if you don't mind. One, if you do, just make sure you take whatever you've got and save it aside. I know you will, right? Because you're a smart guy. But the second thing is, Japan. How do I say this? It's like now I understand why old people don't talk about things, because you can't find a way to say it right. Let me just put it this way: whatever's going on inside of you right now, and I'm not saying there is anything, but often when we travel to go somewhere else, we're looking to reset something. It'll follow you here, and you'll have to face it here after a couple of months or a year. So just keep that in mind, that you can't, and you know this. I know you know this. You can't escape. We can't escape whatever. We can't escape ourselves. if there's anything, if you're, let me see it, just try to say it a different way. If you're coming to Japan and everything up here is square, then you'll come to Japan and everything up here will be square. If you're coming to Japan and everything up here isn't square and you're hoping Japan is going to square it, and it ain't going to happen. Emerson had a great line in Self-Reliance, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He says, we go to Europe. He's talking in the mid-19th century. We go to Europe hoping to be enchanted by the sights and the sounds. I'm paraphrasing, right? He says, but lo, we arrive on those far shores to discover that our giant is with us still. I appreciate the advice, Kurt. Thank you very much. I'm happy to share, Michelle. You remember, it's our kids' responsibilities to figure their way out. Sometimes the best thing we can't teach them wisdom, but we sure can pester the hell out of them with good advice. In a weird way, Kurt is our internet dad, friend, and mentor. Here's to a good life. Thanks, Kurt. Thank you, Kyle Blaha. That's very nice of you to say. Michelle, Kurt gives me solid advice. Kurt gives us solid advice and provides serious thought, at least for sure, for me. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Wherever you go, there you are. Exactly worth doing badly. I've never been able to escape. I've switched back and forth between Japan and America 5 times, always thinking that things are going to be better on the other side. And they're just the same in a different place. That's all. Now, that doesn't mean that it wasn't worth it. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and we grow and we expand, and I might not have gotten to the point of realizing that if I hadn't tried to escape myself so many times. And it's funny that we're talking about this right here, because I was just sitting here before I turned the camera on, mulling over that very thought, how, because I have demons, I have problems, and I have challenges, I have mental things that don't work the way I want them to work, and I was just sitting here thinking about one of those things, and I was talking to myself, gosh darn it, how can I ever escape you? It's something I don't talk about with people. It's, because there's some things that are just personal and inside stuff, and it's kind of a restless anxiety that that's haunted me all my life, and it showed up this morning. I was sitting here mulling over my coffee before I turned it on. I went, gosh darn it, here you are again. I can never get away from that. It's a funny thing though, because it's a restless anxiety, but it's the same restless anxiety that's the catalyst for all the creative stuff that I do. All the adventure videos that I've done, the stuff that I did in the desert, it's all pushed and spurned by that restless anxiety. So it's kind of like having this friend that's this frenetic, energetic, risk taker that's always with you, that's saying, come on, Kurt, it's going to be a great day. Let's go into the mountains. Let's climb a waterfall. Let's go hike into the hills. Maybe there's bear. Maybe there's bear. And you're like, dude, calm down. Relax. Yeah, there might be bear. And he's like going, no, but there might be bear. Imagine living with that guy all your life. And I said before that it sounds like a restless anxiety. It's kind of an anxiety because he gets restless because if I don't do that stuff, if I stay in one place for too long, he's like, come on, let's go. Okay. And hi, Robert. Good morning, Kurt and everybody. Cody. Hi, Cody again. Very wise words. Thank you, Kurt. Kyle, you're so right. Michelle, I think sometimes those demons are what make us human. And yes, they are. I agree. And it's nice. It's not nice to know. It's comforting to know that it's a human artifact, right? It's not. And I think, Michelle, I think it's the thing. It's probably one of our greatest treasures too, because it's the thing that pushes us to explore and discover and to try new things. Well, what have I got in store for today? I already said it. I think I've covered everything. I'm going to close for now and write my blog post, and then I'm going to head home and have breakfast, take the dogs for a walk, and then I think I'll go to Ewing to I'm going to photograph a $6,000. You guys might be interested to see it. It's not even $6,000. I think it's a $3,000 house for sale. I'm gonna go film it. A $3,000 house for sale in Ewing, my favorite town in Japan. Fully furnished. I think you could just move into this place. It's a total live in the Showa past. Anyway, that video, my plan is to go do that today. I won't be going inside, I'll just film it from the outside. So I got this thing. There's this website called AkiyaMart, AkiyaMart.com with a hyphen, Akia-Mart. And I used them to find our house and during our house search, and I got to know the owners of the website, and they gave me a free account, basically an appreciation, because I totally pimped their site out while I was doing our house search. I would always be talking on LinkedIn especially, and hashtagging AkiyaMart. So they reached out to me and invited me on their podcast, and then afterwards they basically comped my AkiyaMart account. So I've got that resource. And I like to do them a favor by going out and finding Akiyas and showcasing them, making a video clip and sending it to them so they can use it on their YouTube channel. They have an AkiyaMart YouTube channel. I've sent them 4 videos so far, and I want to do a 5th one, so I'm going to do that today. And Andayasha says, I remember when you came back to the US and I read No More Looking Out for Number 1, and you were doing the beach series. Are we ever going to get to Japan Oceanside series? It's funny that you say that, because yeah, there's a possibility to do that. Yesterday I drove past the very beach that I want to do that. I was with my wife and I pointed at her and I said, Yumiko, that's the beach I want to go swimming at. So yeah, it's not too terribly close. It's a 15-20 minute drive from here, so it's not too easy, but I could. Michelle says, have a great day, both you and the fur pups. Thank you, Michelle. And one more time, Andayasha, thank you so much for being a member on YouTube. I can see by the green. I really do appreciate that. Your support really comes through and keeping me caffeinated. Missy Boo, hi Missy Boo, another member. Thank you very much. It's good to see you, Missy Boo. And it's not that you were late. It's just that I got an early start this morning. I'm changing things up a little bit, moving things around. Eventually I'll settle into a regular time, but sorry I was kind of early this morning. Well, I'm going to wind up, write my blog post, and get the day started. Wish you all the best, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. And also I want to wish you well, Andayasha, I know that you've got your life ahead of you and your plans, and also Cody, I know that and you're working hard to make sure that you're prepared for your old age as well. Good luck to you, and with your future plans with Japan. Let me know if you ever have questions. You can reach out to me at dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com. I'm always happy to talk. Bye, everybody. Have a good day. Be safe, but not too safe.